Good afternoon, everybody. It's Hunter Elliott with Rangehot.com. Hope you all are doing well. As for me, well, I'm still on the right side of the grass, so I can't complain about that at all, can I? This afternoon, I'm finalizing my review of the Springfield XD-M chambered in 10mm auto. It's about time, right? So first thing I want to show y'all is the 15-round detachable box magazine is out. Slide is locked to the rear, and I have verified the chamber is empty, so we know this pistol is safe to talk about. Springfield introduced two variations of this gun. You've got a 5 1/4 inch barrel length and the 4 1/2 inch. My test sample being the 4 1/2. Let's talk about some of the specifications and go ahead and get that out of the way. The slide here is made of forged steel, and it's got a melanite finish where your receiver is black polymer like you're used to seeing on striker fired pistols. The length on the gun is 7.7 inches. The height is 5.75 inches. The width is 1.2 inches. The empty weight is 31.2 ounces. MSRP $652. Now, I got this gun a couple months ago. Myself, several of my friends have had the opportunity to run just over 400 rounds downrange through the pistol, and throughout that time we didn't have any kind of problems, malfunctions, or misfeeds. The ammunition we ran was just kind of plain old watered down 180 grain ball, paper punching to some pretty hot self-defense and hunting loads. Didn't have any kind of problems with the gun, no misfeeds, malfunctions, misfires, any of that sort of stuff. So good to go on that. The rear side is steel, drift adjustable, 2-dot, and the face of it is serrated. And all that's going to do is just kind of help keep some of the sheen off that rear sight. Front side it's red fiber optic, both of them being dovetailed in. So you've got that nice red fiber optic contrasting against those two white dots. The top of the slide does incorporate a loaded chamber indicator, and that's indicated by you can either run your finger along the top of it and feel that sticking up, or you can visually observe it, or both. Below the muzzle, you do have a Picatinny accessory rail trigger. Not bad at all. It is a striker fire trigger like you're used to seeing. It's got the little incorporated safety here. Trigger pull is right much take up, breaking at 5.5 pounds with some over travel. The mag release, it does have an ambidextrous mag release, and what I mean by that is you don't have to swap anything around. You can just push it one way or the other and it releases the mag, and it drop free without an issue even when empty. The front strap is nicely textured. You do have just a slightest hint of a bevel on the magazine well to the rear strap. It is also textured, and a total of 3 different interchangeable rear back straps are included from Springfield. So you do have a little bit of customization ability right here with the gun. And then something you're probably not used to seeing on a lot of striker fired guns is you are running a grip safety. Some people like them, some people don't. As for me, I don't see any problem with having a grip safety on a pistol. If you're running correct technique and you've got a hold of the gun like you're supposed to, then the grip safety is not going to give you any trouble at all. And then you've got a pretty generous beaver tail here, allowing you to get a pretty good solid purchase on the gun. And then coming up to the back of the slide, you do have a cocking indicator. So with the loaded chamber and cocking indicator, you do have some visual and texture indications of what condition the gun is in. But as we all know, the best safety device that you have is between your ears. So not to sound like a broken record, but always treat all guns as if they're always loaded all the time. On the sides of the slide here, you do have forward and rear cocking serrations. And didn't have any trouble with ball and defensive rounds through the gun. Accuracy wise was not bad at all. We actually did bag it at 25 yards. Myself and my uncle took our turns shooting the gun just to see how our groups were going to be, and he and I both come up with pretty similar results. The best group of the day was 1 3/4 inches, and the pistol was average 2 1/4 inches, and that's 3-shot groups from a rest at 25 yards. But in my mind, if you're printing 3-shot 2-inch groups at 25 yards with just your standard, what I would call duty gun, it is a pretty good size pistol. It is certainly not what I would consider compact, but if you were looking to carry it or conceal carry it, that's not impossible. Just be mindful of the size of the gun. Understand you're going to have to locate a holster, good solid belt, and maybe dress around it a little bit, especially in the summertime. But that you compromise with gives you 15 plus 1 rounds of 10mm auto on tap. Let's talk a little bit about the 10mm auto. So if you've been following Rangehot.com or my YouTube channel or Instagram or any of that stuff that I post on social media, I'm sure you know that 10mm auto is my most very favorite handgun cartridge in the world. And there's good reason behind that. The 10mm auto is a very, very versatile cartridge. You can certainly load it down to the 40 short and weak velocities to have a very nice, pleasant range day, or you can step up to some pretty hot, full house and have a very viable defensive round for 2- and 4-legged critters. So that's a lot of gamut there that you've got as far as versatility in that cartridge. Now, this being a polymer frame gun, some of those hotter cartridges that I was just speaking about, well, you want to make sure that you're utilizing that deep beaver tail to get a good solid purchase on it, because she's a little snappy, but in 10mm that is to be expected. And I'm glad to see that the 10 is coming back, y'all. I mean, it was 15 years ago, you couldn't find even 10mm brass to reload. And I thought, I just hated to see that cartridge wane. But maybe over the past, 6-7 years, it is certainly beginning to make a comeback with all the major manufacturers now, or most all of them, as best I can remember, offering something chambered in 10mm auto. And I see that as a good thing. I think the popularity now is starting to come back. Some people are discovering or rediscovering that cartridge and just how fine of a cartridge it is. And the market is showing that. So I'm thankful for that. Sorry to ramble on about the 10, but it's something that's near and dear to my heart, and I'm a little passionate about it. So anyway, back to the XD-M. Well, not to put too fine of a point on it, but I do like the pistol. I really do. I mean, everybody and their brother now seems to be making a striker-fired handgun. But as striker-fired handguns go in 10mm, this is one of the more comfortable ones that I have shot. Certainly more ergonomic than a lot of the striker-fired guns I'm used to shooting, especially in the big frame like that. So I think Springfield did a really good job of incorporating a lot of the good solid features of the XD-M platform, but still keeping the gun small enough to where you can get a good solid purchase on it. Let's talk about field stripping it. Here again, 15 round mag is out. Verify the chamber is empty. Basically, the way you field strip it is, you got the slide lock to the rear, you've got a takedown lever here. You just point it straight up to the sky, release the slide lock, comes apart. You got your recoil spring with your full-length guide rod and your steel barrel with the same melanite finish on it. And I mean, that's a piece of cake. Not bad at all. Reassembly, same. It is a pretty stout recoil spring, as it should be. Once you get all that back together, just lock the slide to the rear, roll that back down toward the front of the muzzle. She's good to go. Okay, y'all, so last thoughts on the gun. I think it would serve as an excellent home defense gun. If it's something that you're going to keep in your car, your truck, or whatever, 15 plus rounds of 10mm auto on tap. Springfield sends it with 2 15-round magazines and a pretty nice carrying case. Yeah, that would be a good solid option as well. Concealed carry. Yeah. Here again, you would probably have to consider the size of the gun, the holster, the belt, dressing around it, especially in the summertime. But I think it's easily doable. Hiking, trail defense, self-defense, absolutely yes. If you spend a lot of time in the woods, hiking or hunting or whatever, I mean, double tap makes a 200 grain, a 230 grain hard cast lead bullet that is devastating on large animals, as well as a lot of other manufacturers now have started tailoring some of their defense loads to 10mm. So with the popularity of the cartridge coming back and so many more manufacturers introducing guns, now you've got a lot of ammunition manufacturers as well putting some of their R&D behind the 10mm auto. And now that you've got, Hornady, Sig Sauer, Defender ammo, double tap, Corbon developing loads for the 10, won't be hard finding something to be able to suit your needs, whatever they may be. I was a little long-winded on the gun. I had a lot I want to go over. So in summary, a good, solid, all-around, reliable, accurate handgun. There will be a follow-up article on Rangehot.com. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, the whole 9 yards. I do the social media gamut. So let me know what you think, good, bad, right, or wrong. I appreciate constructive criticism. All I want to continue to do is make the videos and the articles better, so y'all will keep coming back and reading them, watching them. So let me know what you think. Okay, y'all, that is about it. I want you to take care of yourselves and each other, and I look forward to seeing you at the range.